all sorts of people and places. Our next speaker is reframing how the world views diversity, inclusion, and gender within engineering. A leader in product machining with 3 decades of experience, please welcome to the stage CEO and co-owner of Pioneer Service and M&M Quality Grinding, Aneesa Muthana.
Good morning, Dallas. Good morning, fellow manufacturers and engineers. I am very honored to be speaking to you today. Thank you, Megan and Barbara, for having me. Who here has been in front of a presenter about DEI in the last, I would say, 5 years? Have you? Have you seen enough talk about DEI? Well, this session is a little different than most sessions about DEI. It's a perspective from a machine shop owner who's worked with a diverse team. My name is Aneesa Muthana, and I will be speaking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. My focus, empowerment without dividing. They have become buzzwords. You hear them all the time. Unfortunately, sometimes shallow words. But hopefully today you'll hear from my perspective and find a little bit of inspiration. But we know that we have made progress because the fact that I'm speaking to you today about the topic is a testament to that progress. Ladies and gentlemen, this is as technical as it's going to get. Who here feels like the character on the right? Engineers, manufacturers, we have so much going on. Designing, processes, building, production, and then what about those metrics, on-time delivery and quality? Lots of going on. But DEI should not ever be presumed as a burden. It is a responsibility. But when you embrace it wholeheartedly and act sincerely towards those efforts, you will reap the benefits of any work you put in. Before I talk about what DEI is, let's talk about and address what DEI is not. It's not checking off a box or a political agenda. Unfortunately, it has become that. But we as leaders can make decisions while running our departments and our companies not to fall into that trap. It is not a trophy employee or a token board member. Success must be earned and never given. This is one of my favorites. It's not playing the victim. Playing the victim fosters a toxic environment. No one wants to work next to an entitled employee. It brings your culture down, and it becomes very difficult to make anyone understand why. You can't say to one employee, this employee can get away with it because of the color of their skin or because you just checked off a box. That's not fair. Only qualified employees. And if they're diverse, great. And if they're not, that's okay too. And it certainly isn't us versus them. You know, I hear people all the time saying that they value DEI, and in the same breath, condone and bash the old white guy. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. I have been in this industry my entire life. White males are my mentors, my mentees, and during IMTS, they're my shopping buddies because we love big machines. But seriously, if we want this to work, If any initiative for DEI should work, it will only work by empathy. And progress only happens when you get everyone's buy-in. It doesn't work that you bash a gender or a race. Villainizing the white male, yet expecting him to embrace change, is a recipe for failure. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Villainizing the white male, yet expecting him to embrace change, is a recipe for failure. It doesn't work. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not advocacy. That is hypocrisy. So what is DEI? DEI starts with diversity. And diversity means different things to different people. It could be your race, it could be your age, it could even be your educational level. But it's about hiring qualified individuals from a variety of backgrounds. Equity consists of your policies and practices in place. Ask yourself, are they fair and impartial? No one wants to be a charity case. Everyone deserves to be compensated fairly and provided opportunities to develop their skills. I'm going to give you a 20 later. By the way, I had no idea I was going to match the background. No idea. So if I blend in, follow the shoes. Inclusion, it's that warm and fuzzy feeling we get, right? The sense of belonging that we all yearn for. It's not walking on eggshells. We are humans. We're going to say the wrong thing. I'm here talking about DEI. I've said the wrong thing. I've made mistakes. I obviously have plenty of bad things said to me as well, but it's okay, especially with good intentions. We're learning. It's not walking on eggshells. It's respect, it's understanding, it's empathy, it's compassion, it's accommodating when necessary and respecting our differences. My motto: everyone has a place in manufacturing. Work hard, you, the company, and the industry will prosper together. Now, this is not brain surgery. This basically, DEI, before the acronym came out, what it means is do the right thing, treat people fairly. That's all. We don't have to make it complicated. But let me tell you, if your company values aren't aligned with this, more importantly, if your company values aren't aligned with your personal values, change them. If you can't change them, it is on you to find your plan B. So one group of diversity would be women. Look around you. There's not enough women in this room. When I go to events, especially back in the early 2000s and in the 90s, I was the only woman in the room. It still happens, but not as often. Women groups provide inspiration, mentorship, and resources to those that are new in the industry. These groups many times have male allies and male funding because they realize they want to tap into that group of people, and they want to leave a legacy and help and empower the next generation of women to stay in the industry. There's plenty that come in, but they don't stay. These groups help them. And this is what I mean about not dividing, empowering without dividing. Because if a women group starts bashing men, which in all honesty, there's sometimes that happens, it's on us women to walk out, because that's not empowerment. So as a business leader, there's always, what's the return on investment? Well, with ROI of DEI, besides doing the right thing, there's plenty. I actually wrote an article for Modern Machine Shop, and it lists several. Today, because we're short on time, I'll talk about two. Innovation is championed through diversity. Different perspectives, different ideas brings creativity to your team. Besides, if everyone on your team looks like you and comes from the same background as you, you haven't even scratched the surface of innovation. So, we have a workforce crisis. In the workforce crisis, what better way than to promote the industry to those who may not be inclined to join? Empowering those that are not even realizing and attracting them to come into the industry is a huge win for the workforce crisis that we're facing. It's not brain surgery. We need more people. I hope my perspective gave you a few takeaways. Don't let your company's values be pretty words on a wall or content for the website. Make sure they mean something to every single person on your team. It's okay to show off your team, especially if they're a diverse one. Not on a pedestal, but on social media and in events like these. Show off your team. Make them feel like they belong. So, supporting groups, mentorships, it's changed my life. I have individuals who I hired as interns in the early 2000s who are now engineers, business leaders, and even my accountant. And now they're mentoring me. Giving back and providing resources to groups is a win for us, just as much as it's a win for them. We are makers. We provide and touch lives worldwide. Use that same positive energy to attract, cultivate, and empower a diverse team, especially for the next generation, so we can leave a legacy we are proud of. Thank you. Before I get off stage.
Yeah, you got more? Okay.
One more comment.
Yes, please.
Before I get off stage, we all know, on a personal level, we all know there's a lot of hatred and a lot of violence in the world today. I ask you to use the diversity factor that I just talked about in your careers and workplaces, in your personal life. Pray for the victims globally, everywhere, Africa, Asia, the Middle East, Ukraine. And please include people that don't look like you in your prayers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Fantastic. Really incredible words, not just about how we can grow in business, but how we can grow as humans. So thank you for that, Aneesa. Thank you really much. It was wonderful.